Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Monday, April 1st. That's not a joke. 2019. My name's Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. So, yeah. Happy April Fools. I'm not going to play any jokes on you. It doesn't work that way. I don't know. April Fools is fine. Doesn't really do much for me. I'm not a big joker. Definitely not a big fan of having jokes played on me. But, whatever. So, episode 3 something. 384 with Coach Joe Saunders dropped this morning. Not 100% sure on the number, but sure on the guest. Coach Saunders is a fellow podcaster. He's got a great podcast on the subject of violence and martial arts and all that. He's based in Australia. He's had a number of guests on that we've had on Martial Arts Radio. So you should check that out. You can find it, of course, every Monday. You can find the new interview episode right here on YouTube or later in your podcast feed or at whistlekickmartialartsradio.com. So, what else? So this weekend I was at Master Terry Dow's Martial Arts Symposium in Manchester, New Hampshire with my friends Paul Milhol and Bill Wallace. And let's see if I can remember all of the Martial Arts Radio guests who were there. So those two, and of course, Terry Dow, Dr. Tim Hartman, Professor Rocky DeRico, Hanji Richard Bernard, I'm running through lists. Soki Michael De Pasquale, Goshi Rob Buckland, Goshi Brent Creasy, Sensei Richard Hubbard. If I was more awake, I could remember this list easier. Bottom line, there must have been at least 10, probably closer to 20 people there, because it's a New England martial arts event, and this is where I've lived my whole life, so I know a lot of people. And a lot of great training, as you might expect. I forget what title we used for him. Coach? Crew John Johnston. Watched him test for his Superfoot second degree black belt. And, man, the guy's good. He's enormous, but he's great. So I got to train, got to do some stuff I'd never done before. I got to work on some stuff that I've done and needed to, that I wanted to get better at. Met new friends. Just had a great time. I really enjoy these weekends. And, admittedly, they're not always convenient. Sometimes they come at the end of a long week and you're tired and you gotta drive and you gotta spend money, right? You gotta spend money to go and food and travel and all that. And there are a lot of reasons to say no. If you're looking for a reason to say no, there's tons of them. But when you think about accelerating as a martial artist, especially if you've been training for a while, there's nothing else I know of that better sets you up for that. Whether it's mindset that needs improvement, whether it's, looking for some new skills, new things to practice, whether it's maybe looking for, whether you're looking for connections. I think that's the best way to put it. When you're one of the things that I find I get out of events like this is I'm able to connect dots between different martial arts and draw correlations. I think I came up with a couple new quotes that we might put out over social media. Just, things that were rattling around in my brain. One thing we don't do a lot at these events is sleep. Because we stay up late and we talk and we share and visit, reminisce. It's good times. Got a busy week. What's today? Today's Monday. So I got some intros and outros to finish up for some podcast episodes, including the big episode that drops next Monday that I'm not telling you about. I love doing that. I really do. Consulting work this evening. I'm banged up. I will not be working out today. I am sore everywhere that one could be sore. Especially my ankles. That's weird. My ankles don't usually get sore, but they are. I'm gonna blame Superfoot for that one. What else is going on? Just a lot of work, a lot of small things. Nothing of substance, no meetings. So I'll just be at my desk, hammering through work. So what lessons maybe came out of this weekend that I can share? I'm thinking of a conversation that I had with someone, honestly, for several hours. Someone that I haven't seen in a while. Someone who is an important person to me. And as we were talking, I realized that he was going through some stuff. Some big stuff. And I knew about some of it. I didn't know about a lot of it. He was pretty open. We had a couple drinks. He shared some things. And it was pretty obvious that in that moment, he needed to share. And I needed to be there to listen. And it wasn't planned. And it meant kind of changing my plans around a little bit from that day, from the evening. People I was going to spend some time with and everything. Didn't regret a bit of it. Because once in a while, you know where you need to be. Maybe you don't know your purpose in life, but you can find your purpose in that moment. And my purpose in that moment was to be there for this person, to mostly listen, and to just offer a little bit. A few words here and there. And I don't know that it changed anything for him, but I know it was helpful because I could see the difference from, we'll say, start to finish. I know that at that moment there was nowhere else I was supposed to be, nothing else I was supposed to be doing than offering my ears to this friend. And sometimes I guess just sometimes you gotta look for that. Because people don't always tell you what they need. Sometimes people are afraid to ask. And one of the things I was really aware of during this conversation was that he had done 95% of the talking. He needed to vent, he needed to share. And I was thankful that I'd practiced not talking. mostly through the show. Honestly, through the podcast, I've spent a lot of time. If you listen, I don't talk a lot to the guest. I listen because it's about them. And this conversation with this friend, this man, it was about him. It wasn't about me. I didn't need to say much. I just let him go. And that's a difficult skill for a lot of people. And honestly, earlier in the night, as we were talking about less serious things, there were other people around who couldn't go more than 10 or 15 seconds without talking. Sometimes we all need to learn when to shut up. And I think if you take a look at yourself as you're involved in conversation, especially group conversation, and I'm working on this, I have a hard time with this sometimes. Sometimes just learning how to be quiet, how to listen, how to observe is powerful. Try to get more comfortable with that. That's what I'm working on anyway. So, I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope today brings you good stuff. And if it brings you April Fool's joke type things, that they're not too ridiculous. I will see you back here tomorrow. Don't forget, we do the show every weekday morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube, and you can catch it later on the podcast feed. We've got 2 separate podcasts. Don't forget that. You can find old episodes here on YouTube. You can find Martial Arts Radio episodes here on YouTube. And of course, you can check out the latest episode of First Cup, if it's easier for you, at firstcupwithjeremy.com. See you back here tomorrow. Take care. Have a good one.